why did you decide to go to med school? So I decided to go to med school, well, honestly, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. Also, partly because I wanted to help the community. So I'm a graduate of pharmacy, and in the Philippines, the practice of pharmacy in a clinical setting can be limiting. And I was also interested in public health. So I thought, how could I bridge this practicing pharmacy in a clinical setting and my interest in public health as one? So I thought that maybe med school can help me bridge those interests. So that's why I decided to go to med school.
So for me, I decided to go to med school because ever since I was a toddler, I think, or back in my earlier years, so I've always wanted to be a doctor. So here I am fulfilling my dreams.
So I went to med school largely because of the encouragement of my parents and relatives, and also I wanted to also have a stable career in the future.
For me, it was always been a childhood dream of mine to become a doctor, and I know it may sound corny or whatever, but I always wanted to help the sick people and also the people who are in need.
So what made you choose UC? I chose UC is that because I wanted to find new set of environment and also experience new things at a different school.
So I choose UC because in UC, we are driven to excel and driven to serve.
What made me choose UC? UC chose me. Charot! Kidding aside, I got a scholarship in one of the medical schools in Manila. Then, after realizing that the cost of living in Manila will be higher than in Cebu, I declined. And then UC saw my determination and took me in, to my great surprise.
How would you describe your first year in medicine? So if there's one word to describe it, it would be challenging, especially because I have a non-pre-med undergraduate course, but I'm very grateful that my first year blockmates made that year fun and more bearable.
The first year in medicine was both exciting and daunting because everything was new.
I think my first year in med school was very difficult because my pre-med course isn't health related. I graduated BS Management from UP, and I think the only science related subject I had was Bio 1. So everything was new to me. All the words had to be searched. It was like learning a new language.
I think a lot of my classmates would also agree that it was very challenging because we were like subjected to an entirely different environment from us coming from different provinces to classmates who took non-medical related courses, and at the same time juggling how to actually survive and pass exams that were scheduled every day. And not just that, but different exams or countless exams we had in each day, and making sure that we had to pass all those exams.
Which faculty shaped or molded you the most in med school and why? So before I entered med school, there was an interview in UC, and the first faculty who welcomed me in this university was the late Dr. Zada. So she was the one who kept on saying that okay na, padayon lang, napaydaghan chances to make bawi.
To be perfectly honest, I think each and every faculty left pieces and molded me in what I am today. So I'm very thankful to all of them.
What was the lowest point in your med school journey? One of the most hardest parts in becoming a doctor or during this med school journey is especially in the first year of med school, in which you're still starting to open up those books and trying to give yourself time to adjust to all the things that you need to learn.
Perhaps the lowest point was when the pandemic started, and I was one of the people who were not able to go home. So I was alone in my room, had to go through many struggles alone.
How did you cope up with med school in the pandemic? To be honest, I don't know how I coped up with med school in the middle of the pandemic. So I think, looking back, I think it was taking it one step and one day at a time. It was taking necessary breaks. It was talking to friends and family when I felt like I was stuck or I wasn't motivated.
I think it was the Lord who really gave me the strength to be where I am right now, because it weren't for him and all the struggles and problems I had to go through during med school and the pandemic, I wouldn't be here.
What was your happiest memory in UC? So for me, is meeting a lot of people which are very memorable and learning from them, which made me a better person today.
To be honest, I don't remember spending that much time in school, especially with the pandemic happening. So my recent memory of being the happiest in school would be when we had our white coat ceremony, when we officially became clinical clerks, because to me it signified that we actually got through one of the difficult and challenging time of our lives, which was the third year in med school.
What was your guiding light during the hardest times in medicine? I'd like to take this chance to thank our seniors, the Maurice, Concordia, and Tritonus, for paving the way. They surely serve as our guiding light. No? They paved the way. Although it did not make our path easier, but at least less heavy.
Did you ever think about quitting med school? Araw-araw! Pero bawat araw, ako'y bumabangon at naaalala ang mga dahilan kung bakit ko sinimulan ang labang na to. Pipilitin at sisikapin kong magpatuloy araw-araw.
Yes, all the time. But it's because I've always thought of quitting that drove me to continue in this profession.
Honestly, no. So whenever I feel tired or when I feel down, I just tell myself, spell quit, N-E-V-E-R, never. Quitting is never an option.
As a graduating medical student, what were the greatest challenges, hurdles you had to face in your journey in medicine? Reaching the 4th year of medical school, it's really an amazing, and looking back, I don't know what to say, but to thank each of the people I met from first year, second year, third year. From the first year that was still so new, second year that was struck by the pandemic, and third year that was full of extracurricular activities. I really don't know how I balance all of those stuff. But the people I met, the journey that I went through, I'm very thankful for each challenge that passed my way.
So first of all, it's the pandemic, because we all suffered under it, and it was at this time where we shifted to virtual learning. So it was hard for me to cope up and to adjust to the new learning environment.
Is there something you regret not doing during your stay in UC?
Well, I have a lot of regrets. I guess I could say that I could have studied more, I could have been more, I could have done more, but that's what they say, no regrets.
So what new perspective did you see during your clinical rotations? I'm just gonna say it in a one sentence. Diligence beats intelligence.
I remember during a lecture in I think it was in FAMED, that a great mentor once said that the cure for fear is knowledge. So I feel like harder days are coming when we reach PGI ship. Harder days are coming because we are going to take the board exam and come residency. But I feel like you should not be scared to learn new things, to experience new things, no matter how scary at first it would seem, because that's the only way we can learn, that's the only way we can share our knowledge and eventually help our patients soon.
During my clinical rotations in 4th year was really an eye-opener, because from first years and second year of reading those books, from third year looking at the screen of my laptop and iPad, seeing patients live and breathing was really something that I couldn't describe at first. Because seeing those patients, those diseases that I've read countless hours, those illnesses, treatments, manifestations I've been trying to memorize for a multiple choice exam, and seeing those in an actual person, in an actual human being, changed my perspective.
Describe your most tiring duty and how did you overcome it? So, particularly on duties, the most tiring one I would say would be OB-GYN, UC Med rotation. Because particularly in this rotation, we are tasked from the start of labor up until their baby comes out to the world. So it takes around approximately 14 hours or more just to monitor the mother up until the baby comes out.
I know that a lot of my batchmates would say that OB is the most tiring rotation, but for me, it would be pediatrics, because not only is it physically demanding, but
It is also emotionally draining. You know, when you get to see kids getting sick or dying, it's really a different kind of tired.
So for me, we have this what we call as the last day syndrome. So we could go benign for days, and on the last day we have surprise events. So I think those are the most tiring days for me. So how do I cope up with it? So I think I would like to give credit to my blockmates, those who have supported me through it. And sometimes we always go out eating with a good bowl of ramen or a good slice of meat over a grill to celebrate and to share our experiences.
If you could go back in time, what would you say to your first year self? So if I could go back in time, I would tell myself to brace myself because med school isn't easy. Med school is difficult and challenging.
I would tell my first year self, you can never appreciate success if you haven't been through hardship or failures. You just have to trust the process because in the end, it will all be worth it.
So, first year me, the newang me, hello. Ow. So, I just want to say that it's gonna be hard, but I'll always remember that we believe that nothing worth having comes easy. So, hang in there and stay strong.
To my first year self, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. So don't quit.
What would you like to say to your future self in 10 years? So I tell myself that, hi Lara, I hope that you are proud of the kind of doctor that you have become.
I hope nga she's in a happy state already. She's very contented with her life. She's living the best. And then I hope she is in her happy state with her family and friends, serving the community, serving the people, and being may not be the best doctor, but at least be a good doctor for the people in need.
Hopefully, after 10 years, after practicing medicine for a while, I would like to tell myself, I hope you will not lose the drive and the passion in helping and caring for others. And I hope you do things because you really love doing it and not just for the sake of just doing it and just end the day.
I'd just like to say that continue what you're doing right now, and I'm very proud of you, and continue to be unstoppable.
There's only one thing I'd like to say. Congratulations, Dr. Janhausen. You did it.